A very good day to you, students. Your instructor is Sayyid Zaki Ahmed. My today's lecture will include leverage topic due to fixed and variable cost variability and the sensitivity on the profit and loss statements in a company brought about due to leverage. Kindly subscribe my channel given below Mindbenders 172 and press the bell button to get further more advanced lectures on finance. Ladies and gentlemen, my current lecture, Financial Management number 9, includes a little bit about cost accounting knowledge and about leverage. Basically, I will give a basic definitions of fixed cost, variable cost, contribution margin, leverage analysis, and sensitivity analysis. The fixed cost and variable cost analysis and contribution margin are given basically because they are the base for leverage analysis. So a concept of these costs is also given here. So a little bit of cost accounting is also involved here. Now viewers, we discuss the cost types here. The cost types generally in any organization, whether production organization, factory or a service organization, the expenses are mainly of two types generally: the variable costs and the fixed costs. They are used in economics also and in cost accounting also. These are the two main types basically involved in here. The variable costs vary with amount of output produced. The fixed costs remain the same no matter how much the company produces. A general example of fixed costs is the house rent or the factory rent. Whether you produce or you don't, you have to pay these things. These are fixed costs. The variable expense is an example. The best one is the raw materials. The more you produce, the more raw materials you will need. Let me give you a few highlights of the costs. The variable cost is a corporate expense that changes in proportion with production output. The production increases, the variable cost increases. When the production decreases, the variable cost decreases also. The variable cost stands in contrast to fixed costs, which do not change no matter the change in the production levels. A fixed cost is a cost that does not change with an increase or decrease in the amount of goods or services produced or sold. Fixed costs are expenses that have to be paid by the company independent of any specific business activities. So now here we see the cost structure management here now. Basically it is a part of the business analysis. It looks at the effects of fixed and variable costs on business overall. Fixed costs are set over a specified period of time and do not change with production levels during that specified period, because generally all the costs generally they with the passage of time they change in a long run, but in the run normally 1 year or two they are kept at constant for that period and they are used in these production calculations. Fixed costs can be direct or indirect expense and may influence the profitability at different points along the income statement. Now viewers, before we start, leverage detailed topic, we must have a know-how of few of the ratios which are commonly used in accounting and in finance. Why do we need leverage ratio? You see, if you have too much of debt and you pay heavy loan and your revenue is not generating that rate, that will be a disaster for you. So we have to borrow within a level so that our rate of return is higher than our debt interest basically. So uncontrolled debt levels can be dangerous and may lead to credit downgrades or worse. On the other hand, a few debts can also raise these questions. A reluctance or inability to borrow may be a sign that operating margins are tight. So, in both ways, this is a two-way knife. So, we have to take care in case of leverage. So, how much debt to borrow to be profitable for the business. Now, we use break even analysis for basically break even analysis is using fixed and variable cost. Basically, it is the production level at which the revenue will equal costs. That can be obtained by this formula. Break even quantity is equal to fixed cost divided by your contribution margin per unit, or sales price per unit minus the variable cost per unit. You can see the formula here. So break even analysis is very important so that we know at what point or quantity of production the revenues are equal to the costs. Now another ratio that is called the debt equity ratio. This is debt, total debt divided by your total shareholders equity, total liabilities divided by your total shareholders equity. A high debt equity ratio generally indicates that the company has been aggressive in financing in its growth with debt. Similarly, we have another ratio, interest coverage ratio. This coverage ratio is that shows basically the ability of the company that it can pay interest to what level payments. This ratio, which equals to operating income divided by the interest expenses. So this shows the ability of a company to pay interest on time payments. Generally, the ratio should be 3 or higher for desirable results. It varies with industry to industry. Similarly, we have another ratio now, the debt to capital ratio. The debt to capital ratio is the measurement of a company's financial leverage. It is one of the more meaningful debt ratios because it focuses on the relationship of the debt liabilities as a component of company's total capital base. Debt includes all short-term and long-term obligations here. Capital includes the company's debt and shareholders' equity altogether. Now, the last ratio normally it is called another one, equity multiplier. Equity multiplier is total assets divided by total equity. Equity multiplier is a financial ratio that measures the portion of assets as compared to the company's equity stockholders. Equity multiplier is also known as the leverage ratio or financial leverage ratio. Now, what are leverage ratios? A leverage ratio is Any ratio that assesses the ability of a company to meet its financial obligations. The leverage ratio may also be used to measure the company's mix of operating expenses to get an idea of how changes in the output will affect operating income. Some of the ratios are being discussed here also later on in the coming slides. Now, discussing in detail a little bit leverage ratio, we all know that the operations of the company, they are financed by two things: equity or debt. Now these leverage ratios are basically giving us the information of the relationship of capital and debt in this company. It will tell us whether the company will be able to pay in future the debts as they come due, and for the relationships of its operations. And it will see how much the income is affected, the operating income, by these financing operations. Now let us discuss specifically the financial leverage. Financial leverage, we call it the degree of financial leverage normally. It is the ratio that measures the sensitivity of the company's earnings per share as compared to its operating income. It measures percentage change in earning per share for a unit change in the earnings before interest and taxes, and is represented as the following formula: degree of financial leverage, percentage change in the EPS divided by percentage change in the EBIT. EPS stands for earning per share, EBIT stands for interest, earnings before interest and taxes. Now, the operating leverage. The operating leverage basically is a ratio that is used to measure percentage of total costs are made of. It checks out how much percentage of total costs are made up of fixed costs and variable costs in the effort to calculate the company's how well it uses the fixed cost to generate profits. Manager need to monitor the DOL degree of leverage to adjust the manager's pricing structure towards higher sales volume, as a small decrease in sales can lead to dramatic decrease in profits also. The degree of operating leverage, the formula is sales minus variable cost divided by your profits. Now, a few points about operating leverage. The degree of operating leverage can show you the impact of operating leverage on firm's earning before interest and taxes, EBIT. DOL is important if you want to assess the effects of fixed costs and variable costs on the core operations of your company. A high degree of operating leverage provides the indication that the company has a high proportion of fixed operating costs as compared to variable operating costs. On the other hand, the low DOL suggests that the company has a low proportion of fixed operating costs as compared to its variable operating costs. Similarly, operating leverage is the measure of how much debt a company uses to finance its ongoing operations. Now, we have another leverage ratio that is called combined leverage, or we call it degree of combined leverage, TOCL. That is equivalent to percentage change in earning per share divided by percentage share change in sales. It can be also written as DOCL equal to contribution margin divided by profit before tax. The degree of combined leverage DOCL is DCL is a ratio that summarizes the effect of both operating and financial leverage also. The ratio shows the percentage change in the earnings per share caused by 1% change in the sales. The higher the value, the more vulnerable a company is for a decrease in sales. A high degree of combined leverage ratio means that the large proportion of company's total costs are fixed and the incremental sale will result in higher increments of EPS. Other things being equal, such companies have to generate more sales to cover their fixed costs. A smaller proportion of fixed operating and financial costs will result in lower value of DCL ratio, which means lower increment earning per share on incremental sales and lower sensitivity to the slippage of in sales. In case the sale, this works both ways. These ratios will tell us if we decrease the sale also, the effect will be the same whatever ratio it is. Either you increase or decrease whatever the ratio. In the next example, we'll understand this more properly. I check out my laser. Now there are few assumptions in this example here. Per unit sales price is $40. Per unit variable cost is $30. Company shares outstanding is 30,000 shares. Now the quantity, let's say, is $500. 500. The sales with this value 40, we have 20,000 sales. Variable cost, similarly we have this. Contribution margin, we have this 5,000. Fixed operating cost comes out to be 2,500. Earning before interest and taxes comes out to be 2,500 after subtracting from contribution margin these fixed operating costs. Similarly, the interest expense here is 500. When subtracted, the EBT, earning before tax, is 2,000. Corporate tax is 800 at the rate of 40% on the EBT. The profit after tax is 1,200. Similarly, earning per share is 0.40 per share. Now suppose we change the sale price. We don't change the sale price, we change the quantity by 1%. We increase it by 1%. When we increase, we have 5. Now the increased value in the change is 505 units of sale. The sales value becomes 20,200 rupees. Similarly, variable costs also 1% increase because they are all dependent on each other. So the contribution margin becomes 5050. You see, EBT is now, if you check EBT, it becomes 2 times. With 1% change in the quantity, the EBT increases by 2%. See, similarly, the EBT after interest expense increases by 2.5%. That 1% change in the sales quantity, the EBT after tax becomes 2.5% higher. Similarly, the corporate tax also we have this, and at the end, earning per share also is 2.5%. So with a 1% change in the quantity of sales, we have 2.5% increase in the earning per share, and similarly earning before tax also. When we check out the leverage, here operating leverage is 2. With this increase, financial leverage is 1.25. The combined leverage is financial leverage multiplied by operating leverage also, we get 2.5% increase. Now this increase, similarly the decrease in the same proportion will result in decrease in the same proportion of EBT, earning per share, and all those ratios will remain the same, increase or decrease, just with 1%. So it can be used both ways. Either you increase, you get a 2.5% increase. You decrease by 1%, you get a 2.5% decrease in earning per share. So you understand my point, that getting a change and just changing the sales value or sale price or anything, you have the effect here. This is just an example of how the so when a manager is assessing, he is assessing all these things together. Either he increases the price or either he increases the quantity to see the effect what happens on earning per share. So an increase in quantity is very good, 2.5%. Similarly, the vice versa, the decrease of 1% in quantity will result in a decrease of 2.5% of earning per share also. So it can be a two-way sword. So managers will have to see here what is happening. I just showed you increase with a percentage change. It can be a decrease also. My next lecture, financial management, lecture number 10, will include more advanced levels of leverage analysis and some numericals also to help you understand leverage system. Kindly continue with this lecture, and I end my lecture with this bon voyage. So kindly refer